can be more. There's nothing that I can't achieve if I just believe. You can be more. You can make every dream a reality. We can be more. Be more, be more. I can be more. There's nothing that I can't achieve if I just believe. You can be more. You can make every dream a reality. We can be more. Be more, be more.
Yeah.
I can be more.
I wake up every day and try to be more. I pray I be more. It's easy to achieve anything you believe. Like hold your head high. Girl, you got a reason to breathe. I see a rare mind. Boy, you got a reason to dream. Let's take flight. Give the children a reason to see redemption. We grow up in the jacks where it's evil and wicked. Where the people with success don't want to send you a visit. But we still finna make this life worth living. Now throw your hands to the sky if you feel it. Hey, throw your hands to the sky if you the realest. You got a vision. Let's put the pistols away and make sure the OGs keep the community safe. In the world where the ladies crying, the babies dying, I think we can create that space to make a way for the ladies to ride and make baby giants. Be more, believe, let's play. I'm so in love with life.
There's nothing that
Little.
I can't achieve if I just believe. You can be more. You can make every dream a reality. We can be more.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Chop Shop. I am your host, Pastor Marvin McKinstry Jr., and as always, riding with me is my right hand and my left hand. He's my main man, Shaka Pitts, behind the scenes, making the magic happen. We have an amazing show set up for you tonight. Many people, in response to the recent protests to police brutality in Baltimore and abroad, have had the same question. What about the violence? Well, tonight, we're going to jump into that topic, and I got four of the realest of the real. But before we do that, we want to catch up on some news, some local things that have taken place here. On a real positive note, Brother Devin Allen, whose photo, he's a West Baltimore photographer, whose photo made the cover of Time magazine 5 years ago during the Freddie Gray protest, has done it again. We're going to get it up on the screen for you. This brother has made the cover of Time under the heading of Overdue Awakening. And the Overdue Awakening is an ode to the recent national protests behind police brutality. We want to say to this West Baltimore native, our brother Devin Allen, man, keep up the good work, keep doing what you're doing, and we love you for presenting Baltimore in a positive light. On more local news, Pastor Wesley West, a brother in Christ, whether you agree with him or not, he came out and did a press conference yesterday addressing the recent allegations that's been said against him. I encourage you to go online, find the footage, and hear what the brother has to say. I celebrate and applaud his boldness to be able to stand firm on his convictions and not hide in the face of what he's going through and the charges that's been levied against him. We got our Black business spotlight that we about to jump into before we hit our topic. It's a new thing here on the Chop Shop, but every week we're going to highlight a Black business that's doing positive things and showing our people in a positive light. And tonight we are shouting out Lip Service Cosmetics, which is the beautiful and talented, very talented in a variety of different ways, Miss Candy Blue. It is her personal vegan line of makeup products. I can't even just say lip makeup because she's doing all kinds of stuff. We got her website up on the screen. After the show, we're going to have a post, a flyer, and a link to her webpage. Man, go support this sister. We recently had things come out about local businesses that have caused many people's awareness to be heightened towards the need to support Black business. So every show, we're going to be shouting out a Black business. And this week, we're shouting out Candy Blue, the artist, and Lip Service Cosmetics. Online, you can order anything that you want from her makeup line. And she's a very professional young lady. Her website is on the screen right now. So we want to definitely show her some love. Now, we are ready to jump into this topic. We're going to get right to it. I got all the other stuff out the way because I want to make sure that these great men, these great God-sent men that are on the ground leading our community and intervening in the space of the violence have an opportunity to share exactly what their perspective is concerning the violence. 348 homicides in 2019. Only 32% clearance rate for BPD. 38 of those murders were women. 143 homicides so far in 2020. 19 of those are women. We already halfway at the mark from last year. 39 reported homicides in the last 30 days. We who protest don't try to say that there's not a problem or there's not an issue. But we do push back when we got great men like the men that we have on this show and many other movements in Baltimore that are putting forth the effort to do the work. So I want to introduce my guests tonight. Each of these brothers are men with tremendous testimonies, men who at one point in time in their lives have made some poor choices like myself, went behind the walls, gave the time that we needed, came back home, and in their space of redemption have committed their lives to the change that our city needs to see. So we got on this coming on the show tonight, my main man, Carmichael Stokey Kennedy, Democratic mayoral candidate, founder and director of the Stokey Project, a boots on the ground, violence prevention and intervention, gets in the mix with things, and literally does more work than we can talk about on Facebook because some of this stuff can't even be talked about. What's up, Stoke?
Marv, good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to have you on here. I'm excited about this show tonight, man.
Thank you for having me, man. This is one of the few shows I wanted to do. I mean, I'm proud of you, man. I think your voice speaks volume to a lot of problems that you echo in your introduction, man. So it's just an honor to be on here with some distinguished men I respect as well. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. The next brother, he is the captain of the Nation of Islam's Muhammad Mosque number 6 right here in Baltimore, one of the founders and leaders of the We Are Us men's movement. He's also one of the directors of the Baltimore Brothers Mentor Project. I need y'all to really share, because we're going to hear the powerful voice of Captain Andrew Muhammad tonight. Pat, thank you for being a part of the show, man.
Hey, thank you, Pastor. I'm honored, man. You got me fired up, man. You got me fired up. So yeah, I'm like Stokey said, man. I was looking forward to doing this show, and I don't normally do a lot of these, but I'm honored to be on here, specifically with them other 3 brothers, man. So it's an honor for me to be here with you all. Thank you for inviting me, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. All right, so listen, man, this next brother is the East Baltimore version of the other two brothers I already introduced. Man, challenge to change, a youth advocate and a powerful voice in Baltimore City around all issues concerning the Black community, but another direct intervener in the violence and the problems that plague our community. Man, we got my man from over East Side, Terry Uncle T. Williams, on the show with us tonight. Uncle T, thank you for being with us, big brother.
No, thank you for even putting this piece together, man. I tilt my hat to you and to all the distinguished guests, man, that you have invited. I mean, this is a moment that's long overdue. So to have put something like this together with excellence, man, and uniqueness, man, I just salute you, man. And we're gonna make it happen, man. You know, we don't know nothing else but the truth. So that's what we'll be speaking tonight, man. And again, I thank you for inviting me.
I love it, man, and I thank you for joining me. And this last brother, man, I mean, there really are no words really enough to introduce any of these guys, man. But this brother is powerful. He is well known, and this is the interesting thing. Well known on the side of the poor choices and the things that he's done, but becoming even greater known for the powerful things that he's doing in his redemption space. We having a little technical difficulty. He was on, dropped off. We're going to get him back. But Eric E.B. Brown, the OG, the original gangster, and the man of God, is going to be joining this discussion tonight. And as soon as we get over whatever technical difficulties we have, we're going to give him an opportunity to bless the broadcast with his voice. I want to ask all of our guests, if you are on, I need you to come on to the original post, because that way, as you comment, we'll be able to get your comments up on the screen, and these great men will be able to answer your questions. Here come our EB right now, coming back on the screen with us. As soon as we get him up and get some audio. What's up, good man? EB, what's up? So we're still working through some technical difficulties with him, but we're going to go ahead and get this thing started because I'm certain that the people want to hear your voice. I want everybody that can to drop hearts and likes and all of that on this broadcast. We want to send Facebook's algorithm crazy tonight. Share, 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 because we want this conversation to reach everybody. So I'm going to kick it off with you, Stoke. I want to know, this is the question that continues to reverberate. What about the violence in Baltimore City? You heard me say 348 homicides this year, 143 so far. 348 last year, 143 so far this year, 39 reported in the last 30 days. Man, talk to the people. What about this violence, man, from the perspective of someone who's involved in the work?
For me, we speak about, a pandemic, and being from Baltimore, growing up in West Side, knowing exactly what crime looked like firsthand. I never seen or witnessed so many different atrocities like I do today, whether it be due to mental health, due to society failures, a lot of other difficulties in decision making that cause these young men and women to kill each other, whether it be hopelessness, people desensitized, what have you. But for me, I think it's been almost omitted why these young people do what they do, because not that it's allowed, but the love is not there, nor the respect or the trust in the community the way it was, where a lot of individuals don't really see the consequences behind their action. And I'm not speaking in terms of death, I'm speaking in terms of what they do to the community as a whole and the race. Like a lot of people always say, we jump up and fight and rally and march and demonstrate for Black Lives Matter, but we don't do it when it comes to black on black crime. So for me, it's an ongoing problem that has been penetrating in our communities. For the last 5 years at this level. And I honestly think that once men like myself, other brothers on this phone, get together and come up with some short-term solution and stop using the Band-Aid effect, we're going to see some problem solving. I always tell people, metaphorically speaking, that you can't fix something unless you know how it works. And it's nothing to do with politics or police. It got something to do with being a real individual from a real situation. And most of us know how that works. So the young men that's out here causing these problems or, perpetrating these crimes, I'm guarantee you they look up and respect one of us. And as long as we stay consistent and give them the opportunity with the proper platform, I'm not going to say we're going to completely stop everything, but we can curb crime in a way that I know the police can't because they respect some of us. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is about me, man. Being hopeful that we can do more than talk. We can change some of these lives, give these kids an opportunity to turn around before they get turned in, and move forward for new agenda. And once we do that, you'll see a new plight in Baltimore, probably like you never seen in a long time.
So I'm grateful, man, because normally we get to a point in the show where we talk solutions, but your whole conversation has been solutions, man, and that's what the Chop Shop is about. It's not about just talk. It's about bringing the voices that the people need to hear. But as Stokes said, man, it's about also pushing and pressing towards the people that are going to do the work. We got a few giants on here with us tonight. We got my man David Johnson, a real powerhouse in the city of Baltimore. We got one of our We Are Us brothers, brother Torrey Smith, former Baltimore Raven, is checked in tonight. We want to encourage everybody to please post questions and your comments. Continue to hit them likes and shares as we want to send Facebook's algorithm crazy. We got him on here now, and I'm going to defer from the original order because we haven't had a chance to hear him speak yet. But I gave you an amazing introduction, my brother EB. I need you to talk about it. What about this violence in Baltimore from the perspective of someone who does the work? All right, so we're going to go to Captain Andrew Muhammad from the Nation of Islam, one of the founding members of the We Are Us movement. Brother, talk to us about this. What about the violence through the lens and from the perspective of somebody whose boots on the ground, who puts their faith in action and goes to work on this violence?
Oh, yes, sir. I really, what Brother Stokey said, I agree with him 100%. I mean, that's the solution right there. It's not a whole lot of rocket science to this right here, because that's where the problem come in at, when you got all these different minds trying to figure something out. And Stokey said it best. If I'll just use us as an example. Myself, you, Uncle T, EB, Stokey, and just if we just had the resources and the consistency of going into these areas where all this violence is taking place, whether it be the juvenile justice system, the prisons, the schools, the streets, the houses, the homes, even the homeless shelters, wherever our people are at, that's where we need to be at. Wherever the violence is at, that's where we need to be at. So Stokey mentioned the fact that, relationships, that will allow us to curb a lot of this violence. Because Uncle T is over East Baltimore. I'm over West Baltimore. The brothers over East are beefing, and the brothers in West beefing with East. I just make a call and call Brother T, and then we'll come together and we can resolve that. But it depends on what the beef is as well. Because all beefs are different. Some can be retaliation, some can be some women beefing. It could be drug money. Somebody could have got shot. So it's multiple things. But I don't believe we can stop it all. But I believe we can make a dent in it so great that it's going to seem like we stopped it all. And so I just believe that, like, just us five on this conference call, on this Zoom right now, if we keep doing what we're doing and get other men involved and women, but just the men, and be very aggressive, I mean, the change is going to happen. I think we're getting it right now, though. I believe, like me personally, my last 20 years I've been home. The last 3-4 years, I've been seeing a change in the men in our community, as it relates to us coming together. So a lot of us are not worrying about titles. A lot of us not worrying about money. A lot of us not worrying about egos. A lot of us not worrying about religion. We putting our emphasis on what needs to be done, and that's saving lives. So you just mentioned all these lives, all these men that's been murdered. And if you look at the stats, I think it was 309 murders in 2019 or 2018, and 275 of them were black men, and 175 of them was gunshot wounds to the head. So if 175 was gunshot wounds to the head, that means more than likely they knew each other. So
talk truth, man.
So that means right there, our attention needs to be on black men. And that's not being biased, that's not being racist. But if you had 309 murders and 275 was black men, then that's telling me where my attention need to be at. That's what I need to focus on. So just to Stokey point, if we just come together and we sit down like we doing, we moving forward, I have no question, brother, we can resolve this. It's just going to take a lot of work, though, and we need manpower with resources and consistency. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some years, but we can do it, though, together.
Brother David Johnson says you have to care first. If you don't care, you won't lift a hand to help. This is the Chop Shop coming to you live via Facebook on StreamYard. Cap says Zoom, but this ain't Zoom tonight, baby. StreamYard power in this thing. And as we talk about caring, I got to go to this brother whose wisdom I respect greatly, and his heart for young people in this city is tremendous. We met under unfortunate circumstances after years of admiring each other's work from a distance. Uncle T, man, talk about it. What about the violence in Baltimore City, man? Talk to the people from the perspective of someone who does this work.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, man, that I was truly amazed at some of the leadership in this city due to their naivetism, man, thinking that this pandemic would stop the mentality of a murderer killing, because it was echoed that during the pandemic that we're not going to get much killings. But we proved that, the mentality that runs rampantly through these kids, man, proved that statement wrong. And that speaks to the depth. That speaks to the depth, man, of the issues we are dealing with when it comes down to this mental pandemic that we suffering from, and we all know that it's systemic. We can go deep into that, but there's no need, because I believe that we are all operating under a mentality of being solution driven. So I believe, without a doubt, with consistency, determination, commitment, and just that relentless type of mentality. Came in on my phone. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Uncle T.
Can y'all still
Keep spitting that wisdom, brother. Yeah, we got you.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We can hear you.
Okay, because it look like I'm frozen.
We can hear you.
But nevertheless, so I believe again that the men that are on here right now, along with many men that are even worthy of being on here, we just got to continue, man, to work together cohesively, continue to be, again, solution oriented. And I believe that we're gonna make great strides like we have been. Rome wasn't built overnight, so we know that it's going to take some time. But I just thank God for the progress that I've been seeing, man, since we've been on the battlefield. They say new levels cause new devils, and the levels that we was taking, man, during the march, man, the men was on a move, and then this pandemic just come in from out of nowhere, man. This COVID situation. So, it's going to strengthen us rather than divide us. So I'm just looking forward to us getting back together, man, and moving forward.
You're on the Chop Shop live on Facebook via StreamYard today with my powerful guest. We're still working to get EB back in and get him on with some consistency because we want to hear his voice. I got a very specific question, and y'all know, y'all agreed to come on here with me. I'm gonna ask the tough questions. We got a new administration coming in, right? We got a new mayor coming in. whatever the outcome of it is, we got a new mayor coming in. I'm going to ask this question. We got a 32% clearance rate in the homicides last year. We are men who understand that policing is reactive and responsive as opposed to proactive. The work that you great men do is proactive. So this is the question. We've seen across the country where there are city councils and mayors and governors that are pulling money out of policing and giving it to the grassroots community organizations to try to get on the front end of crime. 32% clearance rate, $500 million budget. It's not even comparable how much of the city's money goes towards policing. Stokey, I need you to speak on the subject of what needs to happen concerning funding, financing, where we see all that money going into police that can't even solve the crimes. We know they can't prevent the crimes versus programs such as what you do and what other great people in this city do. Please just talk to me. Give me your perspective on pulling money from policing to put it in the hood. I ain't scared y'all off with that question, did I? Are you muted, Stoke?
Are you hearing me, Marvin?
I hear you, Uncle T. I hear you, Uncle T.
I'm not hearing you.
I can hear Marvin and T. Can you hear him, Stokey? Just ask me a question.
Can you hear me?
Did you hear the question, Stoke?
Yeah, I'm not hearing him at all.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Did you hear the question, Stoke?
No,
yeah, I got you back. We having a little bit of technical difficulty, y'all. Please hang in there with us. The question was this: as we see across the country,
hearing us.
No, I hear you, Uncle T.
You still hear me,
Yeah, I hear you, Uncle. We hear you.
We hear you. Mm-hmm. What we seeing across the country?
You can't hear Marvin?
I'm not sure. Hey, Uncle T, can we get word to him to jump off and jump back on?
Oh.
Shot.
Come here, Uncle.
We can hear him loud and clear. I don't know why he can't hear you.
We can hear you loud. Oh, hear you loud and clear. Go out and come back in.
All right, so Stoke, let me go ahead and throw this question at you, Stoke. The question is this.
Okay.
We talking about governments or areas of government across the country taking money away from huge police budgets and putting them in the hood to grassroots work that we know gets on the front end of crime. What would that look like in Baltimore if the Stokey Project got some money out of the police budget where there's only a 32% clearance rate in the homicides to do that work on the front end to prevent these murders, which we know police can't do? Give me your perspective on it.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Brandon, man. That's a young brother that I love and respect. I think he did a good job of running a very, fruitful campaign. Fortunate enough people voted for him to transition to the 52nd mayor of Baltimore. On the flip side,
yeah, can you hear me, Stoke?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I say, again, congratulations, Brandon. He got enough people to vote for him, to win the candidacy. On the flip side, a lot of people didn't vote for him, which I think, gives him an opportunity, man, to bridge the divide in a very fruitful way, use his relationships and his resources to, mend those broken fences, because we're going to need that proper leadership as we move forward. And I'm going to support him whether I'm in Baltimore or not, because that's my brother and I wish the best for him. Now, to answer your question, we got to be more transparent in terms of who can solve these problems. You spoke about being reactive. Most of us on this line have been proactive our entire life. And in order to fix something, you got to know how it works. When you talk about allocating funds and police reform, what does that look like in the 21st century city? You got to be realistic with the expectation, because if 24% of the people that are committing crime live in poverty, crime is the brother or wife or husband of poverty, and we got to learn how to focus on what that look like. To me, it's not necessarily putting a Band-Aid on these problems. It's putting stitches or staples to make sure they don't reoccur, because when we lock 10 kids up 20 more come back. So that don't work. What really needs to be happening is proper police reform with community relationship with a proper emergency manager that's on the ground, that's a liaison between the police department and the community, who therefore can assist them in problem solving. That's how it was when I came up, but it wasn't called emergency management. It was called Miss Mabel or Uncle Henry or Mr. Larry. You know what I'm saying?
At
And
the
we had,
village.
right, and we had officer friendly, and now we got officer aggressive. So even prior to the Black Lives Movement, we always had problematic issues dealing with police. They don't trust them, they don't respect them, and more importantly, they don't understand exactly the logic behind why they always being harassed. So for me now, looking at Baltimore today, where you spoke about the crime in 2014, we had roughly 211 homicides. When Freddie Gray got killed, he was number 70. We killed 274 people after, 274 people lost their lives after Freddie Gray, which made that the second deadliest year in Baltimore history behind 1993 when we had 350,000 homicides. So we know we got mental health. We know we living in a crisis where these young individuals are traumatized, and the stigma don't leave when we get a new mayor. We got to find a way to bridge the divide and have people on the ground that these young men or women relate to, trust, and respect. And it's been done, and it would do a good service to our city and our community if we stop acting like this problem going to go away by talking about them. We got to talk to them. We got to feed them. We got to invest in them, give them a decent 21st century education, give them opportunity to get decent jobs. Most of these kids go to school hungry. We got a lot of systematic failures that affect our communities, and then we wonder why these kids commit crime. They inherit these problems based on what we gave them. I'm one to blame because I did some things in my life that I'm not proud of, and whether I sought atonement or not, or whether people want to forgive me or not, I'm going to do my best to make amends for the wrong I've done. But that's not going to be enough to satisfy these kids who right now are troubled by what they see every day. You can't ask a kid to come outside a house and directly across the street is 10 vacant homes and think he's going to be optimistic, So again, it got a lot to do with taking some of that money and invest it into the problem and not the excuses of people that don't look like us who want dug trails or bike tracks and, better infrastructure in places that don't need it and build up these communities and give these people some hope. And I'm telling you, once you give these young people some hope, you're going to see a difference in crime. You're going to see a difference in education. You're going to see a difference in their character. And more importantly, you're going to see a difference in the culture because they're going to start believing they can do the things that the Toy Smiths of the world done, the Marvin doing, and they're going to start changing their life. So I'm convinced that we start allocating more money and resources into giving these kids a better chance to succeed, be successful where they live, you're going to see a different outcome.
Man, you went to Chop Shop tonight. Again, I'm your host, Pastor Marvin McKinstry, and we are emanating live from Facebook via StreamYard. I want to shoot this same question at Captain Andrew. Captain Andrew, we know the powerful movement that the Nation of Islam has always been, and being one of the movements that have come together to spearhead the We Are Us movement, as we see people like us who are coming together to unify. As the word of God says, one can chase 1,000, but two can put 10,000 to flight. Brother, what does it look like when we have money come out of a massive police budget that is designed to respond or react to crime and be given to the people who are out in front of it? The Muhammad Mosque #6, the We Are Us movement. Talk to me about that from the perspective of someone that does this work.
Man, thank you. Yes, sir. I'm very clear that no organization, no individual can solve our problems in Baltimore City. I'm very clear about that. And you will never hear me say that the Nation of Islam can fix everything in Baltimore City. We Are Us can fix everything in Baltimore City. Stokey, Uncle T can fix everything. But us together, the unity, if we come together, we can damn near fix everything in Baltimore City if we come together. I'm clear with that. Secondly, if we had, let me just say this, Los Angeles Mayor Garcetti, he took between $100 and $150 million, and he's going to give it redirecting funds to the Black community. And when I seen that, it blew me away.
Yeah.
Because really, that was the best decision he could have made based on what's going on in LA right now. That was the best decision that he could have made. And it was the wise decision. And I respect him for doing that because he didn't have to do that. Now, let's flip that and put that money in Baltimore City. Maybe not the same budget, but let's just say Brandon, and I want to give him his props as well for the next mayor. Let's just say Brandon gave me, you, Stokey, Uncle T, EB, 25 million, or just say 5 million. Let's just say 5 million, and took that from the budget of the Baltimore City Police Department. I mean, when you have finances, money is finances, money is resources. You know how many lives we can save when we can hire 100 young men and we put them under violent charge. We get 25 apiece, and we pay all of them $25 an hour, and tell them we're going to train you to run your own operation, run your own business, train you to get a skill set, whether it be HVAC, auto mechanic, drone training, anything that can sustain their life long term. But also, Stokey can teach them about entrepreneur. Uncle T can teach them how to maintain a job. He can teach them how to sustain a job. I can show them how to take care of your family and then save your money and invest your money in the stocks and bonds. I'm just saying, if we had that kind of money, Marvin, it would take a lot of weight off Baltimore City Police Department. It'd take a lot of weight off City Hall. It'd take a lot of weight off our grandmothers, our mothers, our fathers who's not there. Because when you have men that care and love black men more than they love themselves, the impact is already made if I got resources to serve them. But if I don't have no resources, and the little brother trying to eat, man, he ain't trying to hear nothing, man. He's not trying to hear one word. So I hope Brandon is paying attention and watching it, or some of his followers, because they have to turn some of that money over to the city, to the leaders, to the brothers that want to give back and that's willing to put their life on the line and has been already doing it. We gotta have money. I'm gonna investigate what Mad God said he is doing, because I want to know exactly where that money is going to, who's getting it, and what's the expectations. But I know if we had that kind of money, bro, Marvin, man, it'd change Baltimore overnight immediately. And we gotta demand that. We gotta demand that. If they want to stop the murders, they want to stop the killing, if they want to stop these young brothers from shooting grandmothers and killing babies and shooting senior citizens and just losing their mind unconsciously, they got to give us the funds so we can give back to the people. Nobody trying to get rich, man. We trying to save lives. Ain't nobody trying to get rich. Them days over with.
We truly want to acknowledge, even as we wait on certified results, I believe they're going to come out tomorrow, the win by brother Brandon Scott to be the 52nd mayor of Baltimore. Just a plug, we're going to get into it a little bit later. We got a special show coming up Tuesday where we're going to dig into this. But I want to turn to my man, Uncle T. Uncle T, what does it look like to challenge the change? What does it look like to Monument Street? What does it look like to Rose and Luzerne and the areas where people continually look to you and turn to you? What does it look like when we have funding on the front end? If we, as the conversation around the country is about completely defunding police departments, and that's the debate that's going back. What does it look like taking some of that massive amount of money, right, and bringing it into the hands of people like yourself who can do this money or do this work on the front end, so we don't need to go GoFundMes and we don't need to pay for funerals out of our own pocket like we know every man on here has had to do? What does it look like to pull away from that massive police budget and to put some of that money into your community, Uncle T? We can't hear you, Uncle. Is he muted?
Hey, Uncle, we can't hear you, Uncle.
Reach your phone, T.
Is he muted, Shot?
No, sir. He's live.
Mom, you got to mute it, Mom.
Yeah, he unmuted. I can hear it through your if you want to stay in there, so I can hear it through your joint or y'all just share.
Right, right.
It's cool either way.
Yeah, but I was saying it looks like authentic change, man. But truth be told, let's keep this as you would say 1,000, man. Some people don't want this fix, man. People don't want what we want. The brothers that's on here, man, we know what it looks like, man, to see brokenness everywhere around us, man. Broken homes, broken families, broken marriages, man, boarded up homes. So we know that what you see is what you be. So we constantly looking at that, man, and people are profiting off of that. That goes this that speaks to the truth that some people don't want this fix, man. Case in point, if I knew I was getting $1 million from you, man, a year to take care of you and you crippled, you think I'm gonna want to see a TD Jakes come past and lay his hands on you and you start walking?
Wow.
So the truth is that a lot of people don't want to fix, and I wish that it would be people in. But I think we gotta continue to knock on their hearts and knock on their minds and knock on their souls so they can see the reality, man, of what change looks like. So I mean, for me, man, it's like it's a miracle to see something like that take place in my lifetime. I would label it as a miracle.
Man, let's
I know it's going against the grain.
Look, we ain't gonna punk out on that, man. We gonna unpack that. Crime is big business and it's profitable, and it's not, listen, we're not talking big business in the sense of the money that street organizations or people who might be in the drug trade getting. When we look at that massive budget, when we look at what it means to be somebody, even as it come down to certain organizations, I'm about to get in trouble now, who have the capacity to write grants to get funding, even though they not in the community doing the grassroots work. Y'all should have known that when you came on this show with me, I was going to bring it all to bear. The organizations that had the capacity and the relationships to get the funding, but don't really do boots on the ground grassroots work. How do we get to a point that, like Uncle T said, as it's time for us to literally see the redirecting of funding to the place where it needs to be in order for the work to get done? What does that look like in holding the people accountable who have the ability or the power or the seats to do that work? Or to make that money get redirected to where it needs to be. Y'all jump in, man, where you feel fit, where you see fit.
So for me, I don't want to keep sounding like a politician. That part of my life is over. but I think, man, in retrospect to what Uncle T said, and I'm gonna chime in a little bit. My brother Andrew said, man, money is helps liberate individuals who've been kept in bondage for a long time. And when I think about Baltimore and the legal landscape and the paradigm that need to be shifted in terms of reallocating resources in places where they've never been, it gets kind of scarce because they've never been there before. But when you speak about the ones that's getting the money, not doing the work, you know, what happened last week was an opportunity for most people in the community to let their voices be heard by voting these people out. But then when you vote people in and you see they ain't doing their job, I'm in favor of holding court before the election and asking people to resign because they doing us a disservice. So my whole thing is, at the end of the day, we got to start holding people accountable during, not after. Right now, we wait until somebody get out of office and say, oh, you're doing a terrible job. Or we watch the news and complain when our voices are so loud together. If we dissatisfied with our tax dollars and where they're being allocated, or people that's supposed to represent us and doing us a disservice, then we had the authority in our voices and our unity to stand in front of the city hall, the police commissioner office, wherever they may be, and ask them people to resign because they can't give us our money back, right? So we feel like right now, with a lot of things going on, and we integrating and using men on this platform to come together to save lives, because in the words of the great Uncle T, man, this stuff is serious. And a lot of those people don't understand it because they don't go through what we go through. We see it every day, all day on the front line. I'm not disappointed in anything that happened to me in my life because everything happened for a reason. I'm just disappointed in the lethargic thinking and the nostalgic behavior of so many people who don't understand really what's going on in our city and what needs to be done to fix it. So they stay away, and they be so opinionated and judgmental and not understanding exactly how much work and dedication we put into this. As I told Uncle T last week, you got people that want to do full-time work with a part-time job, right? And don't know how hard it is to be committed to this every single day, to see the mothers crying, the kids crying, the young men dying, and all they doing is throwing shots on social media or saying what somebody can't do or can do. But I'm in favor of creating a very strong, forceful platform with men, not males, men who want to do the work, who's proven to do the work, and put pressure on the city council to approve funding for programs like Uncle T. Make sure that Brother Andrew got what he need, And again, my brother just came on, EB. Give those guys a chance to be successful doing what they love to do. That's a difference. They passionate about their purpose, and they're not getting the platform they need to be successful because we got politicians playing games with this money because we allow them to do so. So I want to change that whole system to a point where as though they know for a fact that we're here to do business, and if we can't do business the right way, nobody's going to be, they shouldn't have a job.
Again, you riding live with the Chop Shop. I'm your host, Pastor Marvin McKinstry. We got my right hand and my left hand, my main man, Shaka Pitts, making the magic happen behind the scenes. Captain Andrew, I need to throw this same question at you. What does it look like? Because Uncle T opened this can of worms, man, and we're going to dig into it. And again, this ain't to vilify anybody, but the people. My audience is the people, whether it's the people in the streets or the people in the seats. The people deserve some accountability. Who is going to hold these people accountable to make sure that the money gets to where it needs to get to? We have some capacity issues with a lot of grassroots organizations. They don't have the capacity to be the great grant writers and all of that sort of thing. So organizations who have no boots on the ground, who have no reach into the community, have a tendency via relationship to get that money, and it never makes it to the hood. What are we going to do to moving forward, hold people accountable from the seats to those other organizations to do what needs to be done with that money, man?
Man, that's an excellent question, brother. Excellent question, because like I said earlier, I've been on 20 years now. I haven't had a budget in 20 years. Every now and then, our organization to get a few nickels and pennies, and I never received a salary from none of the work I did. I worked at Marriott for 16 years as a director and took care of my family off for that. I owned a few companies, but I never made a whole lot of money, So everything that I did came out of my pocket. They gave us a few dollars, but they treated us like clowns. So the people that's getting the money, and I don't even know who all getting the money, and I really don't care, but I just know that's their money. But a lot of the people that's receiving the money, and it's for our people that's on the ground suffering in these projects, McCullough Homes, Gilmore projects, Douglas Homes, and they not receiving the help. Poe Homes. Like, these people are jokes, man. They a joke. The ones that's giving the money and the ones that's receiving it, because you mean to tell me they know what me and Uncle T are doing. If I had money and I knew what Uncle T and Stokey was doing, they saving lives, they on the front line, I'm gonna give them every goddamn thing I got to make sure they secure so they can keep saving lives. How in the hell you gonna not help a man that's out there 7 days a week, phone blown off the chain from grandmothers and mothers, brothers in prison, sisters on the street, talking about, please help me save my son. Please put this beef up. Please come to the school. Please come to the streets. And we rolling on nothing but faith and our own gas money. So it's disrespect to these people out here that's getting these monies, and they doing what the heck they want to do with these monies, man. It's a joke. So right now, business can't be usual. We got to, it can't be like it used to be. We got to change it. So we got to start holding people accountable now. I know that I'm gonna start doing it in my own way, because I don't like putting a camera in somebody's face and telling them to break your neck if you don't give me some money. That's not my style. I want to meet with somebody in closed doors. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to meet with some of these guys in closed doors and let them know, look, you got Uncle T, You got brother Andrew, you got Stokey, you got EB. These brothers lives on the line. They're on the front line, and they need some help. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna give you a scenario, and you tell me if this makes sense or not. So when I came home in 2000, I was hired as a supervisor at Marriott, in the Harbor Marriott. The Marriott Waterfront. So I think it opened up in 2001, like March. I started in August. I worked there for Marriott for about 16 years, right? Harbor East was blank when I came home. It was like sand and dirt. Starbucks wasn't there. Whole Foods wasn't there. None of them high rises was there. None of them was there. So if you go down there right now, Harbor East look like, I mean, it's immaculate down there. But then go back 20 years in West Baltimore and East Baltimore. Look at Monument Street. Look at North Avenue. Look at Park Heights. So in 20 years that I've been home, we don't invest into our communities, man. I don't know where this money is going at. I really don't know. I don't know who's getting this money. I have no idea. And that's not my job. But what I do know is we have to start holding people accountable, man, that had the money supposed to go to our people. We got to hold them accountable. It got to be something new. That cannot be the same. And I'm willing. I'm getting involved in that because I'm just sick and tired of our people suffering, man. It's like you putting all this work in, but you're not seeing no results.
And it looks like we got to wait at least another 4 years we got November, but it looks realistically, according to the way Baltimore politics normally shapes out, we got to wait another 4 years before we can do it at the polls. So, Uncle T, I want to pose the question to you. As a man of God, a powerful voice in this city, how do we hold the people who have the ability to get the money to where it's supposed to go and don't? How do we hold them accountable for not making that happen? He on Stokey mic, Shaq. We gotta unmute Stokey mic. Come on, Uncle T. How we hold them accountable from the seats to the organizations to the
until not only holding people accountable, but start saying names, bro. We gotta shake boots, man. We gotta shake the core of the individuals, man, that we know, man, been put in position, man, to be the vanguards of the people, man, but yet they're robbing people. We have to put them on the spot, bro. And ain't nobody perfect, but I tell you what, man, whenever somebody's life is in your hands, man, and you have the money to make a difference, knowing that the greatest investment in life is to invest in this young generation, man. If you taking that money and you're playing with it, man, your name need to be put on some sort of extra espionage list, man. And you need to be put out there, man. Because truth be told, when I first got a piece of money from BCYF, man, it was a brother, man, and I'm not gonna put his name out there, but like I said, we're gonna start putting some names out there. But that brother literally told me, man, I don't understand how you was able to get some money. And man, it took everything, every fabric of my being, man, for putting them on. I mean, I really wanted to put them on the spot. But I understand that skin don't make you my kin. But his mind, man, was somewhere else, man. And he seen the work that I was putting in. So for him to make that statement, I think in terms of how many other people feel that way. And I think it's due to individuals like ourselves that have redeemed ourselves, and we come from out of the jails, man, putting some of the ones that went to Yale to shame, and they don't like that. When you can take a man to come from jail, straighten out a situation that people came from Yale can't straighten out, I know that the ones that come from Yale going to have a problem with that. So all I'm saying, man, is that until we start putting people on the spot, call them out. They called us out when we was out there doing wrong. You know what I mean? They called us out, so now we have to start calling them out. So we got to know that the greatest investment, man, is to invest in this young generation.
That's the great Terry Uncle T. Williams. I know you see Stokey Kennedy on your screen because Stokey is also a part of this great dialogue. Stokey is getting Uncle T's his device together, right? My brother Jahi Fall from the great and historic ARC Social Club, where there's a great community organization, say resources in our community are a matter of life and death. and we thank you for the great work that you're doing. Maurice Knox says crime prevention should be funded with the money and property that is seized from the crimes. That's a great perspective to look at it from. We've also had some other great opinions. David Johnson says our leaders need to stop having so much pride not to ask for help, afraid of who will get the credit. I got to stay with this piece because we're dealing with an election where a bunch of people feel disenfranchised. But I'm going to go back 4 years to 2016. One of the first initiatives that was put in place by then the new mayor, Catherine Pugh, was one where she invited a lot of people who do this work to the table. People that had never had a seat at the table before. I was one of the people that was invited to that table, although I didn't choose to make myself beyond the initial meeting a part of that group, right? In that group, unless I'm mistaken, please correct me, there were a bunch of conversations, but I don't remember anybody ever telling me that translated into better funding for these programs and these people who came to the table to talk about it. It translated into any resources. We know that there were some people out of those relationships who got access to some contracts. And I don't know if it's really safe, to even consider those contracts at this point in time, or if anybody want their name called with all that federal stuff and all that other stuff that's been going on. And we still pray for our sister Catherine Pugh, who has to deal with her situation. And we don't say this as a mockery. But come on, Stoke, talk to me. A seat at the table, meeting after meeting after meeting that don't translate into resources and funding. I'm going to ask the question. That ain't the question. This is the question. How much damage does that do? How much damage do the people who mean to improve the situation of the city, the people who say they do the work, when you sit at the table and talk, but don't come away with any resources?
For me, it's like running from the wolf to the fox. I understand that I'm dealing with politicians, and I know their sound bites are larger than their bite. However, when you look at what Uncle T just said, and you look at the stigma that Brother Andrew explained, perfectly about what he would do with the finances if they were allotted, to him or any other community leader. That's the disconnect, man. We got people that's driving with no license, right? And when you put them behind the wheel, you spoke about the 4-year term. I only disagree with that in terms of premise, because I think we have the power to ask them to step down if our city continues going down the wrong road, because it don't take us 4 years to know that stuff's not working and people continually dying. They fired a police commissioner in midair. You know what I'm saying? Because they think that his job is
Real
not,
talk.
He's not doing a good job, or he don't qualify to be a commissioner. They fired head coach on the mid-season. So no matter what his contract says, I'm just saying right now, like Brother Andrew said, this can no longer be business as usual. We've been down this road before, and I'm real optimistic that if they continuously do the same thing, we're going to get the same results. I'm optimistic about that. I'm also optimistic that if they partner with the real leaders on the ground, and it's not about money for me, although Brother Andrew said you do need money to give these kids resources, and there has to be people getting paid for these services they provide when they risk their life, their freedom, and their health. But for me, I love it, and it's part of my purpose.
All right, Stoke froze up a little bit. I hear what Stokey's saying. We respect it, and I will tell you that none of the men that are part of this broadcast are men that's chasing after the dollar. They really do this work from the perspective of the love of their city. Come on, we can hear you now, Stoke. Finish what you were saying, man.
No, I'm saying the money no. We're not chasing the money. We need the money to provide the proper resources and and ammunition to fight the crime on a community level, because I know for a fact the young men that run into our arms are not going to run into the police. Whether it be a bus pass, it could be anything to go to a job interview, maybe it be a shirt. It could be anything that these kids need to keep them out of trouble. And I know one thing for certain, two things for sure. When they come to us and we don't have nothing to offer them, they go back to what they know. They got to survive out here in these streets. And I get it. I've been there. I comprehend that language. I'm just hopeful that this new administration will finally partner with the real leaders of the community the real problem solvers, and give us an opportunity to make a difference, because we live here and we see it every single day, and most of them just work here. And to me, that's the disconnect. You know, you talk about Brother Andrew, who when he speak about coming home, decreasing the recidivism, he got a job, did the right thing. They don't need binoculars to see who's doing the work. Prime example, last weekend, and I'm not bragging about this because I'm not a braggadocious person. I'm humbly, respectfully admitting that I'm blessed to have friends and relationships. But when all these protests and demonstrations start happening all over the country, I got on the phone with Uncle T. I said, this won't be a rerun of 2015 in Baltimore, because I understand that we're smarter than that. So we went downtown and we got in front of all the provocateurs, all the people that didn't live here, and we explained to them, y'all not going to burn our city down. That's not what's going to happen. The news ain't going to tell you that. The news ain't going to tell you we got in front of those guys. The paper ain't going to write that because they try to control the narrative. But those who understand, like Commissioner Harrison will tell you that it wasn't for us being on the ground, making sure that everybody was going to align with the peaceful protesting, that or they wasn't going to go home. And not saying we was violently threatening nobody. Out of respect, we said we wasn't going to have that. And there wasn't but a few of us. We need guns. We need batons. I ain't need no mace. It's respect, trust, and relationship. And that's what got it done. So Governor Hogan don't know that these kids who came down here, 6,200 of them was upset and were trying to find something to tear up after the meeting. But we got there and said, listen, we're not doing that. We're not going back to 2015. And thank God they didn't. Now, we're not out the woods yet because you got a lot of arrogant people in those seats. But I'm just here to tell you, man, that when people have a problem, 90% of them don't call the police. They call one of these brothers on this platform and ask for help. And sometimes we fall short because we don't have the resources or the finances to provide the assistance needed. And the people that get the finances, they couldn't fix it if they had a whole toolbox.
One of the wonderful mothers in my life, Carol Sanders on here said, is your organizations registered with the state of Maryland? I'm going to make sure that the direct connection to her, because I know why she's asking that question. I'm going to make sure the direct connection happen. All right. Our brother Jeff Harris, a great activist and advocate in his own right, he posted that part. Leaders have to connect with community leaders, and community leaders, not just by your definition. I want to talk to Captain Andrew. As one of the founders and one of the directors at this point of the We Are Us movement, I need you, right? Because Stokey talked about the real ones that do this work. But we understand as Black leaders in Baltimore, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We do have some people that need some redirecting and some correcting and that sort of thing. As one of the men, and Stokey is a part of We Are Us too, so I ain't trying to say Stokey not with this. I'm just piggybacking off his comment. As one of the men who leads the charge in this unity-driven movement, We Are Us, no I, it's not we are, A-R-E, it's we our, O-U-R, us. As one of the leaders of, what do you have to say to the community leader who is not fully aware of how they're hurting the movement in the sense of what it would be like, or what we offer in the sense of being people who are so unity driven that we don't want to take money away from you, funding away. We want to partner with you. Talk to the people that need to become a part of the greater good. Unified.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome, man. So I just want to say that when you talk about, and I'm gonna just be very transparent about this. When you talk about Black men coming together, doing something positive, like right now, we should be clear. Like we should be able to identify at this point right here, right now in 2020, who our enemy is. Now, I'm not saying it's a color. I'm not saying it's a male or female. But if I go outside my front door and I have 10 young brothers with white tees on and short, and they out there selling dope and coke, the first thing I'm gonna say is they my enemy. But I'm not gonna go to the root of it. Like, why are they out there? Why are them young brothers out there hustling? So we know they don't bring the drugs in, they don't bring the guns in. Somebody is doing it, right? So when you talk about how we hurting out the community leaders, how we hurting out the movement, or how we hurting each other by not unifying, I just give you a clear example. I had one of the bishops After we spoke, we had about 150 men in the room. And one of his followers is on here right now. You just said his name. Great, good brother, good bishop. And he told me straight up in front of about 10 other leaders. He said that a fellow bishop of his said, I'm not walking with them Muslims. I'm not walking with them because of this and because of that. So the bishops, he told the men in the audience, he said, I'm gonna come and check them out. I'm gonna see what it's about. I'm gonna come and check it out. Real good brother. So after we did what we did, the work we put in, and we came back to the church, man, he was like, I'm so thankful I came, because we so quick to judge each other. We so quick to trying to figure out what's inside of my head, or what's inside of your head, or what's inside of Stokey head, that you don't even give the brother the benefit of the doubt to find out what his heart is like, what his mind is like. Let me get to know him. So if we don't come together and just give the brotherhood an opportunity to see what we're doing, see where I fit in at. We don't want to wait till somebody gun your grandmother down on the porch, or gun your sister down on the porch, and then you want to be a part of something that's greater than you. Because individually, we're not getting nothing done. We're not getting nothing done individually. You getting a little bit of work done right here. You getting a little bit of work done right here. But trust me, I did that for 18, 19 years, man. And I realized more than anything, as the captain of the Nation of Islam, man, we can't do it by ourselves. We got to unify with Stokey. We got to unify with Uncle T. We got to unify with Pastor Marv. We got to unify with Bishop Johnson, Bishop Stokes, Bishop Jones, Dr. Bunley. This is the only way we're going to fix it. If we don't come together and put aside our differences and just say, let me give these brothers an opportunity. Let me see first. Because everybody can't do what I do. Everybody can't do what Stokey do. Everybody can't do what Marvin do. Everybody can't do what Uncle T do. But if we come together and help each other out in our different lanes, that's how we're going to resolve this thing. That's how, and then more importantly, we can hold people accountable and be very aggressive about it. When it's something not right with the mayor, or something not right with the governor, or something not right with the police chief or the major, or something not right in the streets, we can hold each other accountable because of relationship. And then more importantly, though, we can do it the right way. We don't have to do it with force. So Marvin, to your point, to your question, we hurting each other because we letting these titles and these egos divide us, man. And we can't seem to just let me just come together with my brother and let me talk to him first. Let me be a man. If I got a beef with Marvin, or I got a beef with Stokey, let me call Stokey up and let me talk to him one-on-one like a man. Not on Facebook, not on social media. You know, but right. that's and I gotta say this, but that's what cowards do. That's what cowards do. You're a coward if you can't come to me face to face and say, Cap, I got a problem with you, man. I got a problem with you. And then if I'm wrong, then I'm gonna admit to it. Yes, sir, brother. That won't happen again. I'm not going to disrespect you with my words again. But if we come to each other like men, as Stokey said, not a male, a man, and then we talk that out, man, we're gonna get so much done. And then all that fear you got about that brother, and all that pain and hurt that you want to hurt him because he says something about you, or you thought he said something about you, you go talk to him like a man. I'm telling you, that's what's going to unify us right there.
You are live on Facebook with the Chop Shop. I'm your host, Marvin McKinstry, is always flying with me. My right hand and my left hand, my main man, Shaka Pitts behind the scenes, making it happen. Thank y'all for liking, loving, and sharing the broadcast. Our powerful, powerful, powerful sister, awesome businesswoman who has partnered with me on many different opportunities to give opportunity to young Black people in Baltimore. Nicole Miller says, self-righteousness causes separation. Uncle T, my big brother, one who I not only walk beside but look up to. Brother, please talk to me about the power, the strength, and the need for unity in this work.
I mean, man.
So we having a little technical difficulty, Uncle T. I'm not picking you up. We're still not getting the audio from you. So if we can try to maybe keep your video and use Stoke audio since y'all in the same room, I think that might remedy it. So Stoke, if you can get your audio on and let Uncle T keep his video so the people can see him and see his name, that'll work. Robert Talley said, one of the brothers of the We Are Us men's movement, two can't walk together unless they agree. There is power in agreement. And I must say, as a part of the We Are Us men's movement, as a part of that fateful day in 2015, back at the intersection of Pennsylvania and North Avenue, me as a Christian minister at the time, not yet a pastor, and the brothers from the Nation of Islam, we decided that our differences were not as great as the problems that our people face. And 5 years later, we have this We Are Us Unity men's movement that has touched, I believe, what we were able to do on Martin Luther King Day was a powerful statement as we brought 1,000 men. One of our other brothers, James Turner, said there's power in unity. We brought 1,000 men down Martin Luther King Boulevard. To date, we have touched, not at any one outing, but we've touched upwards of 9,000 men who have come to the various outings and been a part of the various things that we have done. So can I get you or Uncle T back on to talk about the power of unity? And the power and the need for unity in our community.
As I was saying, you know, if we look at one snowflake falling from the sky, we know when it hit the ground, the earth will swallow it up. But when it come in abundance and consistency, it can shut down a government, man. It can shut down an army. So one of our greatest weapon is our unity. You know, and the enemy knows that. That's why divide and conquer has always been the rule of thumb when it comes to the enemy and dividing us. So the thing is that we must continue to be consistent, be relentless, and getting together and start to bring our funds together. But let me deviate just a second here. You know, EB is not able to tap in with us, but I want to say something on his behalf. It was EB, and I thank you, EB, for standing beside me. We was the first two that was on the scene when a brother made the racist comment, man, at the crab spot. I just want to say I appreciate you just having you by my side, man, because that's what warriors do. We popped up on the scene. I didn't call you. You didn't call me, but we were there, man, because that's what unity do, man. It drew us together in the community. And we confronted that issue, man, and we were straightforward with the individual making those racist comments that if making those statements, man,
Uncle T, hold up. Uncle T, hold up. This is what I want y'all to do. Go back on your video, but since you and Stoke in the same room, we'll hear you through his audio. So don't even fight with it. Just pull your video back up so people will see your name, and we'll hear you through Stoke's audio. And we'll just ride it out like that. Man, you live with the Chop Shop, man. I'm grateful to have these powerful voices on with me today. Carmichael Stokey Kennedy, Democratic mayoral candidate, but known more for his advocacy and activism work in the city. I got Captain Andrew Muhammad, the captain of Muslim Mosque or Muhammad Mosque number 6 here in Baltimore. And I got the great Uncle T. Terry Williams, East Baltimore, well, not even East Baltimore, citywide voice for our young people, the founder and director of Challenge to Change. All of these men are a great part of the We Are Us Unity Men's Engagement Movement. We've striving for 10,000 strong, and we're going to get Uncle T to finish up his thoughts on the power and the need for unity in this work of changing the dynamic of violence in our city.
Yeah, well, you said it best. Biblically speaking, when 2 or 3 gather together, man, we know that they're coming together, man, kind of like power of the Creator Himself, man, to assist us in the times of need. So we have to keep remembering, man, that divide and conquer has always been again, the enemy's greatest weapon against us as a people. So we have to fight against that. We got to know that, you know, when we unify in thought, ideas, man, and be on the same page, man, there's nothing that can't be accomplished, man. We know, biblically speaking, again, the Tower of Babel, they was trying to build their way to God, man, because of the unity factor, man, but their spirits wasn't right. So we know what the power of unity can do, man. So I speak to that power, man, of those that are on this live right now, man, those that have been engaged, man, with the African-American movement, man. Just continue to stick in there. Don't get faint-hearted on us, man. No, don't feel as if though you don't see the progress happen immediately, that you should just fall off. No. Tory Smith, I want to thank you if you're on here, bro, because to see you, man, walking with us, that in itself speaks volumes, man, because it speaks of change. Because again, the unity factors, man. So as long as we continue, man, to keep the unity in the community, we can change the community.
We are coming down the stretch, and really we got 15 minutes left, and we're about to talk about next steps. But I want to throw some numbers to express the power of unity. The We Are Us Men's movement, and my brother, I did see his comment up there, Maurice. I'm not quite sure what happened to. Oh, there it is. My brother Maurice Blandon. Over 250 jobs, 50 people in rehabilitation centers, 25 people in vocational training that we met right on the street during the Unity Men's Engagement Movement. And we haven't talked about the tens of thousands of pounds of food that has been distributed in areas where there's food insecurity as a result of COVID-19. This is the power of unity of men of faith in Baltimore. Men who are community leaders, because we're no longer just men from mosque and church. Community leaders, community organizations coming together. You see the fruit. You see the fruit in the sense of 250 jobs, 50 people in treatment, 25 people in vocational training that leads to jobs, tens of thousands of pounds of food. Captain Andrew, I'm going to come to you first. We about to talk next steps. What would you encourage any of our listeners to do if they want to contribute? And I want y'all to talk to all dynamics, because our sister Nicole Thomas, who was on earlier, said, how can the sisters support the work of the brothers while the brothers remain on the front line? What kind of supports are needed? So I want y'all great men to talk across the spectrum. Next steps. What would you encourage somebody to do? Toki said it earlier. We want to hit the low-hanging fruit. We know the big picture is to end it all. But what can somebody do tomorrow? What can somebody do next week that will impact the great work that's already being done in Baltimore? Captain Andrew?
Oh, yes, sir. Let me first say that because one thing about our people, if they don't see something, they don't believe you working. So and Facebook is a good information track for that, and social media, period. But a lot of the things, well, let me just say that the revolution won't be televised. So, and I'll just give you a great example about that. During these protesting last week, we had about 81 men at Mondawmin Mall because we got a call that they was going to disrupt and start at Mondawmin that Saturday. Wasn't no media there, wasn't no news, wasn't nobody there.
Or Pennsylvania Avenue.
Or Pennsylvania, but we got word that they was coming. So we had 81 brothers there for about 2 hours waiting. And we started over East Baltimore first. And our only objective was to save them little young brother lives. We didn't want them disrupting like they did in 2015. So nobody knew about that because we ain't broadcasted. But the bottom line is, you don't have to see everything to know that people are working. Just be a part of it. Just come and walk with us. But I'll just say this, Brother Marvin, in regards to how they can help out. One of the things we're going to do on Father's Day, we're going to do everything in our power to honor 500 Black men, whether they have sons, whether they're father, or whether the son lost their father. We're going to do something real strong in the city just to honor Black men on Father's Day. and we're going to meet over at Dunbar High School, and they'll get more information about that. But we got to find ways to honor the black man, because you got a lot of great black men in our city that's doing great things that people don't know about, and because they don't never promote anything good we do anyway, and the media has never been our friend, never been our friend. So all the good that we do, you don't hear about it because the media don't want to report the good. They only report the killing and the raping and the robbing. They never report the good that we do. So we can't count on the media for anything. This is why we got to find ways to honor each other without waiting for somebody to put a camera in our face and saying y'all doing good work. They can't stand me. They don't know what I did these last 20 years since I changed my life around. I'm not perfect. They don't know what Uncle T, since Uncle T been all the good he's been doing, all the murders and beefs he had put out. Same thing with Bruh Stokey, same thing with you. So we gotta support our own, man, and then we'll hold them accountable by what we do and then what we say and how we back it up. But we establishing a 501c3 for We Are Up, and then we want to get our own monies, and then we're going to use the money for the people. So we creating a board. And we got responsible men that's going to hold each other accountable. Nobody is going to use the money and put in their pocket. Nobody going to use the money and buy themselves a house. Nobody going to use the money and buy themselves a car, because if they do, we're going to teach them a lesson. So we're not going to agree with each other. Yeah, but the bottom line is we have a 501c3, and we're going to let the people see what we get ready to do in the city and what we already been doing. It's a process. Trust me. As long as we stay together and keep God first, we're going to change our city out there themselves. And then we'll hold people accountable for what they don't do and what they say and they don't back up.
Uncle T, many of our viewers tonight have come on and they said, how can we get involved? How can we help? We know I'm going to give you guys a chance. The final thing we're going to do is let you talk about your organization and how people connect with you. How does somebody come and be a part of the work, the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that can be done tomorrow to change the essence of the violence, to change the poverty that fuels the violence, to be a part of what's already taking place in Baltimore City?
Okay, first and foremost, let me give out my location. Challenge to Change Center is located at 2330 East Monument Street. And I am telling you, you can bring a can of beans there, and it's going to go to the needy and not the greedy. And I can assure you of that. So that is where I'm located at. So if anybody had any kind of monetary gain or monetary funds or a shirt or whatever, even an encouraging word, oftentimes, a little bit can go a long ways. A little bit can truly go a long ways. So anything, and again, I'm under 501c3. I'm sponsored by Fusion, and if you want to give a larger donation, you can go to Fusion and Fusion.com and put in Challenge to Change. If you put in Challenge to Change Inc., then I will come up in the system, and whatever you choose to donate, you can donate it there. And I also want to say that my website is under construction. So within the next week, it should be basically, up and ready to.
All right, we lost you. We losing your audio. Can we hear you through Stokey's audio? Uncle T, we lost your audio, brother. Uncle T, we lost your audio.
I think Stokey went to tell him.
Dr. Rodell Hall says, I'm 1 in 10,000, one of the faithful and committed men in the We Are Us men's movement. My brother Maurice still protesting Bmore. That's who I am. If you fed up, show up. Do we got that audio back so we can finish hearing the wisdom from Uncle T?
Correct.
Yeah, so again,
Perfect.
I gave up the address, 2330 East Main Street. I want to Continue to echo that. And if you have any large sum of money that you want to give, you can go to fusion.com and put in Challenge the Change Inc. I will come up in the system, and whatever you choose to donate, they got a donate button there that will send the money straight to Challenge the Change account. And again, my website is under construction. It should be completed within the next 2 weeks at the most. And you can also donate that way. And you can always find me on IG under one uncle _T, or you can go to YouTube and find me under Real Talk with Uncle T.
Man, plug it.
All right, Stoke. We weren't quite at that part, but since Uncle T opened the door, give us next steps as well as how we contact you. I'm gonna come back to you, Captain Andrew, and then we're gonna get ready to land this plane.
Oh, no, I want to just say thanks to the young lady or anybody that's watching who want to help. I think their heart in the right place. That's where it starts. I commend them for stepping up. I think that's such a blessing to have people in the community who want to help us do better. Unfortunately, I don't have a 501 and or nonprofit organization. Everything I do out of my own pocket. But I would just ask her to get familiar, if not already, with the community members that she's associated with and see what they need, and then find ways to get involved with logical movements, because a lot of people don't understand there's a lot of hypocrites going around and they want to make these promises and then they need these kids hanging. So, but a lot of people already know who I am and what I've been doing, and it's not even politically based. It's just because I love my city, I love my communities abroad, and I want to see us do better because we can do better. And I know if most of us understand the logic of what that consists of, it won't be any problematic issues that's going to rise out of pride, dignity, or disrespect. So I'm hopeful that this movement on this phone can translate to a whole different generation of people who want to be involved. But they can follow me on the Stokey Project. I think Facebook Stokey Kennedy or Stokey for Bmore. I'm gonna keep that page going.
All right. Captain Andrew, how can the people? Okay, we ain't finished. Come on, Stoke. Yeah, we got you in and out. All right, Captain Andrew, while Stokey getting his audio together, tell the people how they follow you, how they keep up. And listen, my guys that's on with me, if you have a Cash App, if you put it in our chat section, we'll make sure that that our engineer, the great Shaka Pitts, gets it up on the screen because people want to be a blessing to you right now while we on the broadcast. Captain Andrew, tell the people how they follow you, keep up with you, all that sort of thing.
Man, so I haven't been on social media going on 2 months now. It's so damn depressing sometimes, as much as it's a good tool, but I just get sick and tired of seeing the foolishness, and the gangsters, keyboard gangsters, I get tired of seeing that. So I don't, We Are Us though. We Are Us has a Facebook page, so they can connect with us on We Are Us. That's on Facebook. And then if they have any questions, that child, their son need help, their mother need help, just go to We Are Us page, and we can we can assist you like that. But I do want to say that as far as next steps, Marvin, one of the things that we're going to be focusing on is of course the violence in our city that we already been doing, but because of this COVID-19. You just can't move the way you want to move. I mean, it's a lot of people getting sick that people don't know about, and we have to be careful because once you're sick, and you can't do nothing about it. Just recover, So we got to be careful with how we move in the streets and how we move around crowds, and because our safety is first. Because without your health, I don't care who you are, what you got, you no good to yourself at all. Let alone trying to help somebody else out. So we got to first protect ourselves so we can do more before we leave this earth. But we're going to be focusing on the schools, the streets, the jails, the prisons, the juvenile justice system, and a lot of these areas that need our attention. So I do want people to continue to follow the We Are Us movement And if you're on Facebook, you know, we putting together our website is under construction as well. So we're promoting that real heavy. And I just can't wait. I can't wait till we get back in the streets, man, you know, and be aggressive and we can help change lives. And then hopefully, you know, because I'm gonna be honest with you, like I want us to get buildings around the city. I want us to get finances because I never had no money. Like I tried working with no money for 18, 19 years. And I feel like, you know, it's almost like no benefits. I'm thankful, but like I have to be honest. We need resources to help these young brothers and sisters out in the streets. We have to have them. I don't care what it is, but whatever their needs are, we got to address their needs, right? And of course, we got to love them first. We got to love them more than they love themselves. And we got to invest in them, right? So all of these young brothers coming up, we got to invest in these young brothers. And Bruce Stokey did an excellent job with that, reaching out to the young. That's one of his strengths, you know. So everybody has a strength. We take the lead from these brothers' strengths. We just go, we be aggressive with that. And that's what we are also going to do. We're going to flip the city because the brothers with the movement want to flip it. And I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it, bro, Marvin. But make sure you announce everything at the end as far as We Are Us, because I don't have all that in front of me.
Stokey, did you want to finish up, man, telling the people how they can follow you?
Yeah, to the young lady who keep asking about my Cash App, if she can just DM me at the Stokey Project, I can give her that information because most of what I do, well, again, yeah, they can follow me at the Stokey Project. And like the brother Andrew said, man, you know, we have solutions, man, you know, and that's what we want to do. I'm tired of talking, man. Like, you know, I feel lethargic in my approach to keep acting as if we don't know what the problem is and how to fix it. And like the brother said, we just need ammunition by way of resources and money to help these young men who've been disenfranchised, ignored, man, you know, and, you know, forgotten about, you know, and that's all I want to do is do the work. Whether I'm doing it from Baltimore, New York, LA, or skyscraper, I'm going to do the work. Again, you know, we human beings, we got family, you know, time is the most important thing, you know, on our side right now, especially dealing with several pandemics simultaneously. So we got to get back to work. And unfortunately, this COVID-19 has hindered our ability to touch people directly. So, man, I just want to pray that everybody stay healthy, they stay safe, they continue believing somebody higher than themselves, and we continue to love on each other, man, respect each other, man, and move forward in the right direction, in the same direction, and support whoever it is that has our best interest. Like right now, I got to support the commissioner because if he wins, our city wins. You know, I got to support Brandon. If Brandon wins, you know, our city wins. You know, and unfortunately, everybody don't feel the same about me, but I mean, come on, man, you know, that's life, you know, and I'm all right with that. I got brothers on the phone that I know that will go to war with Tarzan for me, so I'm okay with that. But at the end of the day, man, we got brothers like you, man, who level-headed, who keep me focused on the bigger picture, you know, and I'm just optimistic, man, that in a few months, you know, after we get out of this pandemic, man, that you're going to start seeing things happen because people are tired. And there's not a time that I can think of that's more important than now for us to come together and unify and move in the same direction, man, to avoid any, you know, fathoms or uncertainties, man, because, you know, most of us, if not all of us on this phone, is guided by a higher power, man. And that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, think about all these different, you know, people come together, you know, on one accord. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, and it's beautiful, man. So I'm just blessed that you have me on here, man. I appreciate you. You know, I'm always on deck for you and my brothers on this platform, man. I hope we just continue to do the work. That's all.
Any closing thoughts, Uncle T?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, look, it would not be reasonable of me, man, if I did not give a shout out to Wifey. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
I know Wifey on deck right now. I trust that she's listening, man. So, I mean, like, we can't do nothing without that woman on our side, man. So we already know who the boss in the house real, man. You know, for those that are married, got their significant others, man, she's in charge. So let's admit that. But however, the center will be opening. I'm looking forward to be opening the 15th. So I'll be working with 10 young brothers, man, and we gonna make it happen, man. I'm excited and delighted, man, to be able to just get back in the mix with these young brothers, man. So we're gonna put our best foot forward on the 15th. We're having back in the center, man, to start building on his 3 rites of passes and really teach these young brothers what it is to understand who they are as a person and why they're here and the potential that they possess inside. And last but not least, to all the viewers, man, that's on.
Go ahead, finish up. Go ahead.
All the viewers, man, that's out there. Remember, your destiny is not out in front of you, nor is it behind you. It is hidden inside of you. So always know that the greatest you is waiting to be birthed forth.
Cap Mandrew, any closing remarks?
No, I'm good, man. I'm honored to be. This was a great show, man. I want to do it again. This is a great
we're gonna still this shine.
So that was a perfect
again, man.
That was a perfect segue because I'm going to ask you, brothers, and I'll reach out to you with a date because I'm talking in July. We ain't going to wait a year to continue this conversation. We know they say when the summer gets hot, the violence jumps off. So we're going to get us another date because we booked up through the month of June. We're going to get us another date in July, man, to get you brothers back on. We're going to work it out to get EB back on. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that was with us tonight. Man, it's my honor and my privilege to be able to talk to you because I know your heart for the work and I do this work with you. I've had the privilege to serve boots on the ground with each of you guys. And I want to tell you as a peer, as a brother, and as a friend, I love you guys, man. And I thank you for the great work that you do. Before we give our closing thanks, I want to put up what we got coming up. So we know we just had an election in Baltimore, and we know, I hate to put it this way, in classic Baltimore form, there's some controversy. So if we can get that flyer up, we're going to step out on Tuesday and have a one-on-one conversation with Republican mayoral candidate and political strategist Catalina Bird. You see the title of the show. The title of the show is I Have Questions. I want people to be informed about what their options are. So we're going to talk about the process. Although Cat was a candidate in it, we're going to talk about the process and what people need to know moving forward. I told Cat I want us to be able to talk about what should happen and what will actually happen as a result of all of the drama and all of the varying things surrounding this election. That's going to be a special broadcast that's going to happen on Tuesday, and me and Kat going to go one-on-one. Now, on Thursday, man, before I even talk about it, Shock, run the video. Powerhouse show coming next Thursday at our regular time, 6 o'clock.
Do a show.
We froze a little bit right when we got to the best part. Can we run that back? Can we run that back? Yeah, right there is a good spot. Thanks, Shot. Told you my guy's the best behind the scenes. All right, man. Shot, go ahead and throw the flyer up. You see it? Look, this show right here is about bringing truth to power to the people. And we're going to have that hard conversation about violence and the faith community. Where does the faith community fit into the violence that's happening? What role do we need to play in position? And we got three awesome men of God on here. We got Rashad Singletary, who is a community advocate and clergyman. He is the author and the facilitator of the great workshop, Homicide and the Church. Homicide and the Church, where he unpacks the reality of our community and the reality that it's a church on every corner. We got the awesome student minister, Carlos Muhammad, the national voice for Minister Louis Farrakhan here in Baltimore at Muhammad Mosque number 6. And we got the great boots on the ground out in the community. Every time you see him, whether it's feeding the people or whether he's out talking to the people, sharing the good news of Jesus the Christ, violence intervention, all kinds of prevention, the great pastor of Changing Lives Ministries, Pastor Antoine Burton. The commercial and the flyer will be up immediately following the show. I need y'all to share it. We gonna get on here Thursday and we gonna chop it up. A violent community and the faith community. Where do we need to step up as a faith community to do more concerning the violence? I want to thank everybody that's tuned in with us tonight. I hope to see you on Tuesday at 6 as we talk about the election again with Republican candidate and political strategist Catalina Bird. And I definitely want to see you on Thursday as I chop it up with Rashad Singletary, student minister Carlos Muhammad, and Pastor Antoine Burton around the topic of faith and the community. I want to thank my awesome guests tonight. Again, Captain Andrew Muhammad, Carmichael Stokey Kennedy, Terry Uncle T. Williams, EB, who even though we had technical difficulties and couldn't get them on, we bringing you brothers back, and we're going to make sure that everything is right with the audio and the video and all of that for the people. I want to thank all of the people that chimed in tonight, Nicole Maurice, David Johnson, Candy Blue, Mama Carol. So many of y'all were rock stars tonight as you contributed to the conversation. I got to thank my main man, my right hand and my left hand, Chaka Pitts, who makes the magic happen. And I got to make sure, before I leave this broadcast, that I thank my amazing co-host, even though she don't have a lot to say. She sits here with me during this broadcast the way she stood beside me in life. When I was right, she was there. When I was wrong, she was there. God gave her a promise concerning my life, and she's been with me every step of the way. And now I get the privilege of taking care of her. My babe, my love, my mind, I love you, and I thank you for always being here with me and for me. You want to say something to the people?
I love you.
You love me?
Yeah.
I love you too. Mwah. Listen, Chop Shop audience, thank you for joining us again. Please tune in on Tuesday at 6, tune in on Thursday at 6, and we thank you. What's up, Stoke?
But that's the best part right there, man. That's
Yes,
the best
sir.
Part, man.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
best part right there, man.
Ice on the cake, man.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
There.
That's right.
Yes, sir. So, Chop Shop audience, we love you. Please make sure you follow these great men of God. And in any way you can, whether it be financially, resources, or with your presence, support the great work that continues to happen in Baltimore. And we out of here. Come on, Shock, take me home.
Peace, family. Peace.
I can be more. There's nothing that I can't achieve if I just believe. You can be more. You can make every dream a reality. We can be more. Be more, be more.
Yeah.
I can be more.
I wake up every day and try to be more. I pray I be more. It's easy to achieve anything you believe. Like hold your head high. Girl, you got a reason to breathe. I see a rare mind. Boy, you got a reason to dream. Let's take flight. Give the children a reason to see redemption. We grow up in the jacks where it's evil and wicked. The people with success don't want to see you a visit. But we still finna make this life worth living. Now throw your hands to the sky if you feel it. Hey, throw your hands to the sky if
many people's on there. You see it?
I think we can create that space to make
Yeah, I see the video.
to ride and make baby
It's still 20 something.
Let's play. I'm so in love with life. Little.